Success Tales.
Thank you, Ashima. Thank you so much for having me on your platform. I'm really excited to chat with you today. And let's get it started.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, Hiral, we would like to know what motivated you to start this venture of yours.
I remember this very vividly. It was 14th of February, which we all know is Valentine's Day. And I was in the night just here, like sitting by myself and was thinking that, what is wrong with today's, when we are on that, like on Valentine's Day, lot of those ideas or thoughts are revolving around love and companionship and, having a partner and things like that. So, and then that segue into something that the current dating apps, what issues lies with them. And I think any new idea or venture always starts from pain points that is not being served by other the existing platforms. So I think what motivated me to do that is I wanted to develop an app that I would like to go on it. It's something as personal as that, and I'm deeply passionate about something as delicate as love and finding a right companion. And more so, the whole idea behind it was to kind of do it with find somebody like a passionate person who has the equal interest in it, which was no other than like my best friend. Like, she's my college best friend. We've been friends for 20 years now. And I just kept calling her all night on Valentine's Day and be like, hey, let's do something about it, because we both have been kind of really cringing and bickering about how the today's app doesn't solve that.
So who were your greatest supporters in your journey?
Definitely, like greatest supporter. First one would be my friend Sugandha, and another supporters in general in life. I have my very close knit group of friends, girlfriends, strong women, and more, and also my son and my family. So they have been biggest supporters. And one more supporter that I have in my life is one of my brother's wife, my sister-in-law. She has always been right there with me in always guiding me through it, through anything in life in general. So I'm very glad to have her also in my life. So she's been a big supporter too.
Okay, Hiral. So did you find investor for your venture?
No, we did not. So I think when I thought of this idea, I was open. I obviously was cognizant of the fact that if I want to do something, am I okay putting my own money, which I did. And, I think if you want to start with something that you're deeply passionate about, then you definitely want to put all of your heart, money, energy, time, everything in it. So that is how it started. And we haven't found any investors yet. So we started off with our own capital.
Okay. So what challenges did you face during the early phase of your startup?
I think the biggest ones are around the logistics of having something as like a small business or a developing app, because initially you would have the capital that you put in and ideas. There's no challenges around ideas and all, because that's it's a proactive attempt to develop something by yourself. But I think challenges were more around the financial side of it, understanding the logistics of how the business because business is not just an idea, right? It starts with an idea though, but there are so many things that follow through it to ensure that it has to be successful. So the financial part of it, the logistics part of it, how do we find the people to do that? And also we were very, very glad to have Nitesh Agarwal on board with us as our third co-founder with me and Sugandha. I think he has been the greatest kind of help in figuring those things out, getting the hold of a team or understanding the revenue model for our app. So yeah, those were challenges. Definitely something that was new for us. And also you have to have the motivation, right? When you are driven by the idea of something, developing something, you don't think about the gain, and you don't look at it very much, or at least you don't start off with looking at it with the profit and gains and things like that. You definitely want to go there, but I think the passion lied behind developing something, of that you believe in.
Okay. So how did you overcome those hurdles?
So overcoming those hurdles wasn't immediate. Definitely, it took some time, and that's where the patience comes. Like you have to hold on to it. You have to kind of learn to ensure that when you start something, it's not obviously not going to skyrocket right away or have an exponential growth. I think the challenges were that we had, and like I mentioned Nitesh before, in overcoming those hurdles, he was definitely there out in the forefront of it. Sugandha and I definitely had like the ideas and the strategies, and he also contributed to the strategy for it on how we should go about it. We did a lot of like those blackboard sessions globally, I mean virtually on Zoom, since we're globally located, to find out what would be our plan, right? Like if we have a plan A, we go about this revenue model, or we look at how can we curb our expenses in finding resources or giving them as much as possible so the work is sped up. So things like that, and it's all about trial and error, right? There is no like one sure short way of going about any problem. It's very use case by use case thing. For us, it was definitely about understanding how the business, any business work, because this is our first time, all like for us, at least me and Sugandha, it was our first attempt, and we wanted to get that expertise from our third co-founder, Nitesh.
Okay. So what, according to you, are the important qualities of a person who wishes to start his own ventures?
So if you want to do a venture or anything that you want to do of your own, right? The biggest thing I see are that you need to even be able to implement any other quality is courage. You need the courage. You need to believe in it. So definitely courage is on my top list of the values or things that you need to start something of your own. You should be, second is risk taking, right? I think these are very cliched and known things, but it definitely internalized when I started something of my own, where you really need to be okay with what comes your way. You find a way, try to fix that, but not get disheartened, right? So definitely be open to fail. If you are somebody who absolutely cannot take a setback or cannot are always used to having like a smooth road, it's definitely not for you. Or even if you go into it being that person, you definitely are not going to stay the same and are going to come out to be somebody who is okay with risk or setbacks or failures on the way, right? So definitely courage is needed, risk taking, and to have a heart in your right place. You should know the why of anything that you're doing, then you will figure out the anyhow. So definitely that's something that needed for starting anything of your own, that courage, that risk taking, okay to fail, and also to have a heart in your right place.
So you mentioned that you, Sugandha and Nitesh, build a team and then you executed your plan. So please tell us, Hiral, that what is the importance of good team?
Oh, absolutely. Like, there's not like a one person army, right? Like I said, we can come up with the inception of the idea and where we want our product to be, what is our USP and strategies and things like that. But to be able to do that, the idea is nothing without implementation, right? So to have a good team, and when you say good team, it's not just qualified team, but they need to be bought into your idea. Like almost like a cult, right? They need to kind of believe in what you are believing, because then it's not just one way where you tell them this is what we need and it needs to be done, but they also there is a healthy collaboration where they kind of think out of the box and they feel like they can add something to the feature or the product and enhance it. So I think the having a good team is anyway, right? Even at your home, like just having like a good team, it's efficient, you get things done quickly. If there are any conflicts, the resolution can be made very professionally. So uh, absolutely, there is nothing that you can do just by yourself. You need a great team, their support and their honesty and everything.
Okay. So what do you look for in a person while hiring him for your startup?
Contrary to just the popular way of finding the people for your team, I genuinely and passionately believe in, and even at my workplace, when I hire people and look, what I really look for in them are more like underdogs, right? Where they have the drive because they have the passion. They may have the thing with underdog versus somebody who is very well, aware of their own capabilities and technical skills and things like that. The difference is they're so hungry and eager to learn and to prove themselves that they're going to bring out the best in themselves as well, and thereby, contributing very good to your product as well. So I think when I interview somebody, I look first and foremost for their attitude, because that can go a long way with the right technical skills, but you don't have that attitude or that hunger to learn or that proactiveness. You can go very far with it. It might be like a one night star or something, but you can really go very far with it. So for that, you definitely need somebody who has that hunger and strive and the right attitude to do something.
So what, according to you, should be the qualities of leader who is heading startup?
So just qualities of leader, startup or not, are somebody who has empathy first and foremost. It's very needed. It's very important, because all the decisions that you make, they are very. There's going to be a part where how you're thinking about the people, because we are, at the end of the day, we are developing a product. It's still abstract, like a product, but it is still for the people, right? So being a leader, you definitely need to be empathetic, very important, and also be that disruptive, bold vision that you should have, like, thinking really far off, not afraid to think big. And it's probably very overused, but it's definitely like, thinking big. And that's how, if you think, like I always say this to my son, who you see right here, that you can't, if you shoot for the moon, at least you'll be among the stars, right? So
Right.
You have to definitely, as a leader, have that vision and have that charm, whatever charisma that people say that a leader should have. It's nothing but being able to be relevant and being able to touch the lives of actual people, right? And motivate them to do their best, bring out their best. I think that's the leaders that, or the mentors that I have looked up to in my life, are not the people who have just achieved great things in their life, right? That probably is relatively easy than doing that, but still being able to impact lives and motivate people and make a difference, because that's what leader does, right? It's not just achieve great things or be somewhere up high up there, but being able to make more leaders, so where you don't stop at yourself, but you kind of continue that journey with mentoring and inspiring others. So yeah.
Right. So what is the best and worst part of being a head in your venture?
Best part, I think, a lot, right? Like, you get to be like they say, they get to be your own boss, which essentially means nothing but, you got to put all of your passion and all your thought process. And this whole, I think my biggest takeaway from this being, or the positive that I see from starting something of my own, was I felt like very responsible, and responsible not in like a very burdening way, but more like, you get to kind of think all the aspects of how product should be, and or the dealing with the people or with the market, doing the study and all of that, of the market study and all of that, right? So I think that was a great experience for me. Like, the journey was beautiful. At times it's about the what you learn along the way. So that was like a big plus of having something of your own, and then being able to make those decisions, and you kind of feel like you are in the driver's seat, right? Which everybody wants to be in, right? Most times. So that was like the positive point. I would say negative point is it is very much a little positive also, because it can be taxing at times, especially if you have I have like a full-time job, and although it is my choice that I went ahead and did it, but I'm just saying, not in a complaining way, but have a full-time job, being a single mom to a child, a young child, which is a handful and a lot of your energy. So I think it can be a lot of time taxing on your life, where you have to divide your time between those things. So that can be, and again, it's nothing that can't be solved for, but it is just like more time consuming. And also at times the frustration gets you, right, where you don't know certain things. If there are those points, we are not all perfect and being like, having this zeal all the time. Sometimes you do feel like, oh my god, like, you feel stuck in your product journey or in your venture journey, where you don't know where to move on from this direction. So that can be a little I think what I would say is kind of come into it with a little bit of knowledge about it, right? Or just acceptance of it. So it was a bit taxing, but nevertheless it's worth it.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. So, what are your future plans?
So our future plans is obviously to get, besides, like, if Nitesh were listening, you would be like, besides making money on this one. But definitely our future plans lie on to get this app to as many people as possible. Because if I haven't, I think I'd like to share more about the app and why and what was it, right, behind it. So this app that we developed, came up with, the whole idea is to have a hybrid app where it is a dating app, but it's also a matrimonial. So this is essentially for the market is India, where the country is progressing, and then this whole taboo. This app is essentially for people, men, women, equally, like looking for second chance in their life, which we all love, right? Like me, I've gone through this personal journey of getting out of like an unhappy marriage and walking out of it. You definitely want to live your life with somebody, have a companion, right? And this app essentially does just that, because I think a lot of these dating apps today that I have personally seen is they are horrific. Like, people out there are not serious about it. They are not transparent with what they are looking for. There is lack of clarity. And what all this does to people, like many people like me, Sugandha, and other professional urban women and men, like who are actually genuinely looking for a companionship in their own person, but with little time, especially if you're like divorced or widowed and have a child and looking after them. You don't have all that energy, right, to waste on somebody who is not even genuine, not even interested in knowing you, and it's all about like not knowing where it is going. Like, it's become so casual, I want to say. So that was really frustrating, and that is what our app is solving for. And we want to get this idea out to as many people as possible in India, where there are urban women and men working, or even in the smaller parts of the country, right, where it's still a taboo. Like, it's me being in the US and having gone through this, I'd like to share this. It is still a taboo, because we coming from the Indian culture and background, it is not okay. And especially if you walk out of something where you're not compatible with something, someone, it's absolutely like a look down upon, right? So we wanted to solve this. When you come out of a marriage, you don't want to be afraid of looking for happiness. I think a lot of us Indians do feel that way, that when you get out of a marriages, and especially if you have a child, and as women, mostly as women, right, you feel that a pressure of not, it's looked down upon as you're being selfish, which is not. Like, a happy mother would be like a fantastic one at it, right? And if that means that she needs a partner by her side, or who's supportive and understands and serious about it, so you have to go look for it, right? And then the best way is that we are providing this platform where the people who are looking for second chances in their life to find a companion, they don't have to go through the ordeal of dealing with the nagging relatives, right, or judgmental people or society around it. They just have this app. They have their own, independent on their feet. They can use the app. They can. Our app is very secure, right? It provides like that, does the background check, and also you can make sure that none of those,
Fake,
fake
profile.
and I was going to say jerks, but fake people coming on it and wasting time. Because then I think what it does is, already if you are very hesitant to go out there and look for somebody for yourself, such things that happen where they're not serious, or they're not able to hold a conversation, or even know, like, genuinely want to know you, or married, they are already married and just like wasting time. I think that can again demotivate the person. So we want to eradicate all of this by just, go out there. We provide like our data, our user base is where our USP lies. User base is somebody who is genuine. We do the genuine, the verification process of that person actually exists and it's real, and this is their birth date, what they are saying, their age, and everything is real as much as we can validate that's there in the public platform.
Yes.
We use that information to do the validations, and then from there on it's still like those two adults, they can talk it out and go on, because you see, like when two people come from looking for a second chance, they come with a lot of baggage, right? So it's not easy, it's not like first time, it is definitely not easy. And what I have seen, and personally me, my own experience, I felt like you almost feel guilty to be on a regular dating app, being a divorced person, which by the way, it should not hold you back. There's nothing wrong with it. They are good people. They are at least people who has the clarity to walk out of something, right? But you feel almost guilty. So this is something where anybody coming there, they know where they are going and what they are getting into. Somebody coming from a traumatic experience of either being widowed or having an abusive marriage or just unhappy marriage and things like that, right? So we want the user base to come here with sincerity, second the empathy, and then the responsibility. So yeah, that's what this is the whole message that I want to get out there to the people who are looking for it, and hopefully this app can benefit them to find a little happiness in their life, which we all need.
Very nice, Hiral. Like you said, that it gives a security check, that is the first priority which every woman or man should be looking for in the matrimonial app. So that is very nice that you give verification, all background check and all. This is a very great initiative. So ma'am, how important is your client to you? What is the value of customer feedback?
Extremely. Like I said, I wanted to develop something where I can be a client on. So if you were to ask me, I started off with a very selfish initiative, right? Where it's the ideas app was all like my needs, or like my friend Sugandha, she's been through similar experience. Like, we both have been single moms and out there, trying to trying to get our footing, in life and in general. So I think it was the requirement side of it were very selfish needs, right? Where we wanted what we want to look at. So when you start off with something that actually matters to you, you are going to be solving it for the actual client. So I think I would say more than, like I said, the revenue model and all of this, we didn't even think about it when we just wanted to start off it, because I think our idea behind it was to make a difference and solve for people or the problems that we think we faced, and many more maybe facing worse than that. So that is something. And when you talk about client being, like Amazon also says and feels and makes us believe, like, client is God. Like whatever they say is, it should be like their wish is your command, right? It's almost like that. And that's when we see a range of successful products from history or in the world around us, only customer focused, great, be restaurants or ventures or retails or anything. They have only been able to go have that long run if they have been constantly customer focused. Because when you say customer focused, initially you're very enthusiastic about it. So you're obviously going to be thinking just about it. But to have that mindset at the back of your mind, even then when your product grows, hopefully, you have to still keep that because there are high chances if you miss that out, it is sooner or later it is going to fail, because then your heart is not in the right place, right? You started off with solving something for customer and thereby making money in the process. But to have that, it's very important to have that result focus and customer focused mindset, and fill in their shoes and feel what they are feeling or looking for, right? Like be open-minded about it. I think a lot of those taking feedback and surveys help a lot, right? To know what the customer wants or what they're looking for. So even if something that is not aligning with your business model, at least be open-minded to take it in, right? And then go about it.
Very great, ma'am. So, what is your success mantra?
Well, success mantra, that's a loaded question. My success mantra is just be honest. I think honestly, this has it's as cliche as it may sound. Uh, be honest. Be really aware of what you're looking for, right? And then go for it with all of your heart, like no reservations, right? So do that, and also have your heart in the right place. I say this more often than I should, but I really believe in it, right? When you say you have your heart in the right place, then having that honesty, having the clarity is very important. Like you should know the why of what you're doing, and then you will figure out the anyhow, right? And that's very important to be successful. And when you say success can be measured in different ways, it depends on what matters to you. But for me, if I were to speak from my own perspective, I think success is also the journey. At times it is about the more about the journey to the mountain than the view at the top, right? It's often like that. So if that means success to you, go for it. So have the clarity what you're looking for. Is it something that you're looking for your personal learning, or is it something that you want to make a name for yourself, or it could be something that you want to be famous for? That's and you've been able to achieve that, that's success to me. If you want to make a certain amount of money out of it or profits out of it, then go for that. So having honesty, clarity, those two things are very important to be successful. So then you know what you're looking for, right? Like you're not blindsided. And always, for being successful, I would say listen to your critics honestly. You don't hate them, because oftentimes they absolutely have no and you can differentiate between like what is trolling and critic. Like trolls are not good, like you should just shut your this to them. But uh, critics are great. Like I think there is nothing more valuable that I have found in my corporate career than feedback, right? A constructive feedback. And it may not be constructive at times. That can be like a sneer comment or something. Don't let it affect you, but definitely listen to it, be open-minded about it, and then you might find a way out of it. Like there's always a way to it. So it could be your way to success. So it's subjective, very, very subjective, what success means to you. So this was what it means to me.
Yes, ma'am. Very true. That we have to focus on critics. We don't take it as a burden. We should continue with that, and we should improve.
Absolutely.
Any piece of advice for the startup enthusiast?
I would say just have the courage and go out there and do it. I think a lot of things like that, we see the ideas, right? And it's not something really out of the box that people don't at some point the other people have gone through that experience where they think, oh, wish we had this, right? Like when we had the taxis and they kind of were monopolized. I'm sure nobody, it's not like, Uber was the first or Lyft were the first people to think about it. It's only because they took that leap of faith in their idea, and like it's the bridge, right? Where you think about something and then the bias of action is there where you actually do it. So for anybody thinking to have their own venture, now is the time. There is no perfect time, because I used to always think, what, if this gets sorted out, or then I'll do this, or it's almost like, I think the most cliche example is fitness, right? You feel like, oh, after this, that there are Mondays comes, and there are a lot of Mondays that come and go, but you actually feel like, oh, if things become perfect like this certain way, then I'm ready and I'll go for it. It's never going to happen. Let me tell you this from my own personal failures after failures. It never happens like that. The life is going to go on and on the side. You just have to make time and cut out time from that and do it. So if you're really passionate about it and you have the clarity of why you want to do that and what you want to go for, I would say just go for it. Because like we have this saying, right? Luck favors the brave. So if you don't even are courageous enough to go out there and do something of your own that you believe in, imagine how others are going to be bought into that idea, right? So if you believe in something, just go for it. Step by step, take baby steps, you will figure it out. It's like nothing's rocket science, honestly, right? Like we don't have to, decipher the Big Bang Theory or things like that, or like physics and things behind it. That this is very much doable and very much in our capacity to do it. So just go for it. You'll figure out the way. If not, you'll fail. You'll learn. At least, like I always say this to my son, that you should go out there in the ocean, or like metaphorically life. If you don't swim, at least you'll know how not to sink, right? Or so, yeah, go out there, do it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us. Thank you for believing in us. And we are so proud to host women entrepreneur across the globe. We are so proud of you, and you are doing great initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ashima. It was a pleasure to be here. I had such a great time chatting with you. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's really important to get the stories out, of real people, so that can inspire. So if I'm able to touch even one life and make even a minutest change on a very minuscule level, I think I'd be very happy and grateful for your platform to be doing that. So thank you, Ashima. It was a pleasure talking to you.
So much, ma'am. Thank you so much for being with us.
Absolutely, my pleasure.